Sumo! One Sumo! Let's go!
What's goody? What's goody?
Dayan Athletic Sumo lifts.
Oh, yeah. Dayan. Mic check. Good. Here, say something.
What's up?
You're good. You're good. I need to do this more often. I'm going to do this more often here.
The lighting's perfect.
Yeah.
Cool, where do you want to start, man?
How do you say your last name?
Dayanzadeh.
Dayanzadeh.
Iranian, yeah.
Gotcha.
Born and raised. Just
Cool.
kidding. I was just born there. I wasn't raised there.
You're born here?
I was born in Iran, and at the age of 9 months, obviously I have no recollection of it, but at the age of 9 months, my parents decided they wanted to move to the States. Dad had a lot of family in Maryland, and then Mom had a lot of family out in California. So
Shit.
yeah.
Okay, so your both parents are Iranian?
Both are Iranian.
Iranian.
We lived in Austria for a bit. And
Austria?
Then, yeah.
That's legit.
Yeah, Austria for a couple months, and then ended up coming to the States, and I've been growing up in Maryland ever since.
Cool.
Yeah.
I guess I should do a proper interview. 3, 2, 1, go. Welcome back to the Catch Up with Bryan Sumardi, where I feed my curiosity, and I'm just pitching myself initially. I need to learn how to do this. Please subscribe to wherever you're hearing this: iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, Stitcher. Yeah. Support the podcast by purchasing apparel or merchandise off
Get on it.
Sumo Lifts Apparel.
Yeah.
And
Let's go.
That's simply me. Today I have a guest, personal trainer, Sina
Dayanzadeh. Everybody messes
Dayanzadeh.
it up, man.
Yeah, see, I'm not even going to try to butcher it. I can say it, but then I just have a horrible memory. Dayanzadeh, personal trainer. You're young, and you're in college still, right?
22.
22. You're about to graduate.
Yeah, in the fall.
Exercise science?
Kinesiology, yeah.
Kinesiology?
Yeah.
Okay. Just kinesiology?
Yeah, kinesiology, minor in business.
Minor in business from UMD?
Yeah. I didn't always start there, though.
Where'd you go?
I started out at UMBC. Originally grew up in Montgomery County all my life. Ended up deciding I wanted to go take my talents to UMBC.
Take my talents.
There
what
you
are you,
go.
LeBron James?
And yeah, man, I started as a biology major. Throughout high school, I did internships with NIH, researching cancer. And then that same summer, my junior year actually, I ended up shadowing open heart surgery in Children's Hospital.
Oh, shit.
And so I decided on I was trying to decide whether I wanted to go down, really down the medicine route, if I wanted to do research, if I wanted to do surgery.
So you want to go doctor at first?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I kind of I decided against it for many reasons. But, I mean, even with you starting your own brand, me starting mine, I think it's something about creating your own brand that speaks for itself, you know? And just kind of, I think it's very important to be able to immerse yourself in all different types of fields to really see what you kind of want to do. And that's what I did. Luckily, I was blessed to do it at a young age. And I realized that wasn't what I wanted to do. Yeah. I've been in fitness almost for half my life.
Half your life?
Ever since I'm 22, literally ever since I was 11.
How did it begin? Please tell me more.
Yeah, so I had family members, those close to me that always struggled with their weight. Me personally, dude, I was weighing in my senior year of high school at freshman year, I weighed in at 105, 110. I was a stick. You throw a football at me, I would have been broken.
How tall are you?
About 5'8".
5'8" at 105?
Yeah, man.
Shit.
Yeah, man.
That is a stick.
Yeah, I was skinny, man. I was a skinny boy. They used to call me Toothpick.
Did you play sports too, by the way?
Dude. I played lacrosse for about 2 years. It wasn't kind of my thing.
Lax, bro.
Yeah, I wasn't much of a lax bro. I didn't have the flow and everything going on, but I was a wrestler all of high school.
Oh, shit. Okay, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Shout out to my coaches. They were great.
Where'd you go?
Practices were hard.
High school?
Wooden High School.
Wooden, okay.
Yeah, so I've grown up in Montgomery County all my life.
That's so cool, because I don't know if you ever watched my the interview with Patrick.
Yeah,
Patrick's also a trainer.
We used to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's a big dude.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about the big dude. I'm talking about, just wrestling.
Yeah.
The influence of wrestling turning from you have to be all by yourself. You have to learn how to like. You are a part of a team and you get points for the team, but
it's also practicing independence.
Right,
Sure.
it's one-on-one. It's you and the other guy
Hands down.
on the mat, and then it's so much cardio. If you ever had to like grapple someone, do like Brazilian jiu-jitsu, shit like that, any type of martial arts, to be honest, like that shit takes cardio.
Done the whole jiu-jitsu, judo.
You did that too?
Taekwondo, karate, Krav Maga, you name it.
Oh shit! Where do you train?
Dude, wrestling was where it was at for me.
Mm-hmm.
We always, back in high school, we used to have people that go like, oh yeah, we got a new kid coming on the team. He used to do BJJ. He used to do all this. It's like,
so you did that prior to high school?
Yeah.
Shit. Was it your parents or you wanted to do it?
My mom always wanted to put me in sports. But like I said, at the age of 11, that's when my fitness really took off, and it was kind of a personal decision.
Okay.
Like I said, a lot of my family members that were close to me, I mean, like we said earlier, I'm Iranian, so typical dish is, a lot of meat, but a lot of carbs too.
Okay.
So
I'm unfamiliar. I went to Morocco last year, but all I remember was like rice, fruits.
Dude, same concept.
And lamb. Lamb was the big thing.
Lamb's huge too.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you got people that aren't necessarily, you got your big guys, but everyone's got a belly. I never wanted to be like that. I never wanted to have a belly. So that was the typical kind of a nutritional concept everybody took in: rice, chicken, that kind of stuff. Anyway, so honestly, like for me, it was I never wanted to be like that. I never wanted to be skinny. Typically you always hear people say, "Oh yeah, idolize Arnold" and stuff like that, which I did. Yeah. But I really, really, really took it upon myself to just research as much as I can on bodybuilding techniques, whether that was for men's physique or whatever. It didn't matter. So like the process versus the result. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, even for you and I, it's still a process. We're still learning, Right. No, I understand that, but then you more research the process and try to figure out the result. Yeah. Because I feel like the biggest thing for me, like when I was talking about other personal trainers, like with that Ari, watch that one. It was more like I just want to have the physique, and then that's it. It's more like they were looking at, all right, this is the goal. These are the process to get through it, and I just want to do that in order to get there. For sure, dude, hands down. And I don't know if you can relate, but for me, when I was younger, dude, I wanted to look good for the ladies. I wanted to have a good body. Obviously, I wanted it for myself, but I wanted to look good. I didn't want to be a stick. Right. And for me, it was always hard putting on weight. So, like you said, I had to research whatever the process was, whatever you want to name it, and just kind of figure out how can I get to my end goal. Yeah. And it wasn't necessarily what's the fastest way, but how can I get there? And again, I don't know if you can relate, but when I was younger, I didn't know shit. I didn't know anything. So for me, it was like, do I need to focus more on training? Honestly, I didn't even think nutrition was important until later on down the road. It's understandable. It makes sense. Like we don't talk about it that often. I guess to give you my perspective, like I never cared about my fitness. I mean, I would say my fitness, but I just wanted to dominate. I was one of those guys. More so the health aspect, you mean? No, I was more just alpha. Like if I played I played basketball. Like I'm like 5'4" playing basketball. Like I don't give a fuck. Yeah. Like if you're in like, it to win it. 5'10", like I'm gonna find a way to like fucking cross you out, and I'm gonna shoot on you no matter what. Yeah. So I just wanted to dominate. Like I want to be a man among men. No, absolutely. I definitely feel that. Like I always thought of like a warrior. You are a Marine, so. I mean, that was prior to being a Marine, and then once I got to college, and I was like, things are slowing down. Mind shift, it's different. Yeah. And it was honestly never a mind shift for me, because it was always like I knew what I wanted. Yeah. It was just like, man, I could do what they do. Yeah. Like I mean, like not to be cocky or nothing, but it's like I knew what I had to do. I feel. But so when you got into the research part, like what did you have to research first? Did you just look up people, like you said, Arnold, or what? It wasn't just. It wasn't just, like the typical bodybuilding.com forums and stuff like that. That's what I did. Yeah, it wasn't that. I mean, I did start out at that, but I realized there was more to it. So, like I told you, I actually went to California this past week, and I met Charles Glass. Yeah. Okay. Great man. For those of you who don't know, huge in the bodybuilding industry. True. Great trainer. Phenomenal trainer. Well, he was also a competitor as well, right? Yeah. So I know him as a trainer rather than competitor. Met that guy, one of the most genuine, humble guys still in the industry, and I learned majority of my stuff from him at a young age. And as soon as yeah, how so? Like, where did you find him? Like, he's a book? I never knew he had books or anything. There was a video I saw on YouTube of him training. Who was it? I'm blanking on the name. Steve Cook. It wasn't even Steve Cook. Actually, I did see the video with Steve Cook that he did do, but it wasn't even that video. Forgot who it was, but needless to say, his techniques were so interesting, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's what really just clicked for me.
In what way? Please
In the
elaborate.
sense that, like, I did not want to go down majoring in biology. I wanted to understand more about human movement, the biomechanical aspect, you know?
Yeah.
How can we, not to get too technical, but how can we incorporate kinetics, kinematics, all that kind of stuff? And
Please.
understanding how
explain to
human
me.
forces act upon the body and how can we use that to enhance performance.
Have you heard of animal flow? Animal, yeah.
Hmm.
For me, I'm more into like movement, and I like being athletic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because my biggest, like, I'm not gonna say complaint, but like bodybuilding is because like you get so swole.
You lose functionality.
And not really lose functionality, but it's just like you get stiff. And like when I get stiff, like I feel shitty. Like I credit mobility like 90% of my powerlifting
Oh yeah,
skills.
I see how you train. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think it's really important. I think shout out to all those doing bodybuilding and anything, but let's be honest, some of the guys are juicing so much and whatnot that they get so big and they barely can probably even wipe their own ass, man. And they get too stiff. They get too stiff. I definitely agree. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's get into like. So you said you saw me how I train.
Yep.
From a third perspective, how do you think I train? Because I never really asked anyone that.
It's interesting because I see how trainers train in all different kind of gyms, but I'm also a trainer at Gold's.
Okay.
I think your training's phenomenal. I think you not only incorporate obviously the powerlifting aspect or whatever it is your clients' goals are for themselves, but mobility, functionality, I think that's huge. Nowadays, I feel like, unfortunately, I really do. I don't think that most trainers emphasize that.
Yeah.
You know, I think they're more in it for the money, meaning they just want to cash out on a session.
Okay.
You know, and then say peace out and not actually teach exactly.
Yeah.
And not actually focus on what the needs really are. They're just there for the paycheck.
I just met another I want to say entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Or not entrepreneur. I don't know. She's a pretty cool chick. Recently, she explains being an educator versus a teacher.
Yeah.
And like a teacher, it's kind of like explaining how like you just do it for the money, like kind of what you were saying, versus an educator who actually kind of teaches you what I like to think of called mental models.
Okay.
Because when you have a mental model, you can kind of move it and work with it with everything. You can kind of translate it to whatever you're doing, like with your work, with your fitness, and it's interchangeable. That's what I want to think.
Yeah.
Rather than, all right, so when you do this bicep curl, you got to keep your hands in, palm facing you, and you curl up, palm facing up.
Right.
It's more like teaching you how to process and think on your own, critical thinking versus just teaching you a movement.
Which I think is very important, not just in fitness, but everything. Yeah.
Okay, let's get into your style then. Because like you said, I do powerlifting, I do mobility. I could talk about that, but it's not the point. It's not
like we said earlier, man. Like I used to train to impress people and try and obviously impress others, but then it got.
Is this for yourself or for your clients?
Well, for myself.
Okay.
And then it got to a point where I was like, what am I doing? Like I want to live long, and I want to train more for health. But even with that being said, my method of training is different. Shout out my mentor, Pete Matthews. Back when I used to train at the JCC, he actually got me into doing supersets.
By the way, do you know a guy named Blake Presto?
Sounds familiar.
Redhead, kind of short.
I think so.
Yeah, he trained there with the JCC.
Yeah.
He's
Big
a
guy?
Big guy? He's like my height, white guy.
Maybe.
We'll get back to
man. For me, like, again, and I know I'm sure this has been for you too. I mean, fitness is a journey. It really is, in my opinion. And you always you'll have your lows and your highs, and I think it's in between those lows and the highs where you kind of figure out what your niche is. Did I say that right? Niche? Yeah.
Niche.
Whatever, yeah. Niche.
Whatever. I'm not an English teacher.
You figure out what works for you. And as soon as you find that, I think you could really tap into your own ability. So for me, Pete taught me back in the day how supersets worked. And I love supersets because, for me, I always did the whole dirty bulking thing, and I noticed I was gaining the weight I didn't want to gain.
Okay.
So for me, supersets helped me keep my heart rate up. I was burning fat. I didn't personally, I didn't have to do as much cardio.
Yeah.
And the intensity, I gotta say, the intensity was always super high.
Yeah.
And I love that, and I still incorporate that not only with myself but with my clients too. Now I don't train always with supersets and stuff like that, but I at least try to, you know.
And you do the same with your clients as well?
Same thing. Obviously, what works for me may not work for you. What works for me might not work for my clients, vice versa, you know. So obviously, I gotta kind of play around.
Tailor
Tailor
the workout
It's
for them.
not fixed. It's definitely not fixed.
Gotcha.
It's definitely something that is very, like you said, interchangeable, and you can.
I'm more on the bigger believer of the set principle, specific adaptation to impose demands.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I rarely do supersets. The only time I do supersets is like body weight movements.
Yeah.
And I take as minimal rest as needed for my compound movements, like my squat, bench,
which I think is
deadlift.
important, man.
What, minimal?
I
rest?
think people just, I don't know, maybe you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I've noticed powerlifters that just take so much fucking time in between their sets and all that.
Well, yeah, 'cause I'm a again, I don't say like I'm different, but I feel like I'm a special breed sometimes where it comes to like I really incorporate my mobility on top
Good,
of
man.
that.
That's how it should be.
Well,
That's how it
it
should be.
depends
That's
on
how
your
I think.
goals. It depends on your goals.
For sure.
Yeah,
But nobody wants to be stiff.
True.
You need mobility. You got to be able to be functional. You got to
true.
be able to move. What's the point in moving heavy weight and looking like a beast if you can't really act like one upon it, you know?
I don't know. The IBS,
ILS, invisible lat
ILS,
syndrome. You
yeah.
motherfuckers walking around like this, acting like you got big lats.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It
man.
just, it just happens if you do it right.
Yeah, for sure.
What did you want to explain about your like what makes you different as a trainer?
What makes me me? What
what do you
makes
think
you
of-
you? For me personally, like I said, family members. They weren't always healthy. So for me, that's what made me want to get into fitness, and what made me really understand more about nutrition and training and want to do my research. And that's what made me want to become a trainer on some real shit is
family.
And then being able to, if I could change somebody else's life in terms of, you know, getting them to whatever their goals were, and then even past that, then I did my job at the end of the day, you know. If I could change somebody else's life for the better, obviously,
Yeah,
then I did my job.
you have a purpose bigger than yourself.
Absolutely.
What you're saying.
That's what's funny is this started out with just about me.
Yeah,
I don't want to say it was selfish of me thinking like that, but that's how I grew up. Is this bodybuilding, this whatever fitness journey was about me. But then I realized it's much bigger than that.
yeah, because you helped yourself. I'm a firm believer that a lot of people like to help others before they can help themselves.
Absolutely, and I definitely abide by that.
Yeah, because once you have your shit together, then you can kind of you have a better ability to help others.
Most definitely.
Because if you just try to give them tidbits of whatever information you have and you don't really apply it to yourself, I'm like, what are you really doing?
Yeah, for sure.
You're just saying shit.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what you preach for sure.
yeah. Like I learned that specifically in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, I feel you.
Like those are the biggest like principles that I've learned.
Yeah.
Are you like who did you say your mentor was from the guy from JCC?
Yeah,
I forgot,
Pete
Peter?
Matthews. He actually
Pete
trains
Matthews.
at Gold's Gym like early in the mornings. Man, the guy's a beast. He's you know Rion from the gym.
Yeah.
Think about Rion, basically like that. Okay.
He's like 52 or 50 as well.
52. I believe his full-time job is he's a disease specialist. He actually graduated from Maryland also.
He's a doctor? Or what do you mean disease specialist?
So he basically, yeah, I believe he is a doctor. I'm almost positive he has his doctorate.
Fantastic.
Yeah, man, and he's got a lot of knowledge, but it was just interesting because his method of training, like I said, was all supersets, and he still trains like that. I mean, he'll go from pulling 405 on deads for 3 sets of 10, 4 sets of 12, something like that, going straight to lat pull downs, and then going straight to a bent over row, and crazy shit. Just going back and forth, keeping the intensity high.
Yeah.
You know, he always taught me keep the intensity high, keep the rest low. You know?
For what reason though?
For him, it was like he didn't like staying idle. he was one of those motherfuckers.
I definitely relate to that.
He was one of those motherfuckers, and I relate to that too. That like just could not stand still. You know, so for him, it was like just being able to go from here to there.
I need to be stimulated.
Stimulated, exactly, and being able to, I like to say, maximize efficiency.
Wow.
Meaning being able to put the body under so much stress that your body has to adapt to that amount of force that's being put upon the body and being able to, progress and see growth and progression.
Okay.
And it worked for him, and luckily it worked for me too. Yeah.
So what do you think about like when you train in terms of like what are your principles? Like what are your go-to methodologies? It's like this is what I abide, this is what I specialize in, and that's what I like to teach.
Dude,
or do you have that?
I think nutrition is so important. Like
Okay.
more so specifically being
So like how do you break down your nutrition?
More so it's a matter of, are you already active? If you're not active, how are we gonna manipulate your macros to your body's liking?
You're a macro trainer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely for sure. I wasn't always.
What were you before? Or what were you prior?
Bro science.
Science.
I transitioned from bro science.
I honestly don't know what that means. I hear it getting tossed around a
I don't know
lot.
if there's a set definition, but bro science is just pulling facts out of your ass and just acting like you know what you're saying.
How are they facts?
Exactly. Exactly. It's doesn't make sense. So
okay.
And I'm definitely more technical. I'm huge on form. If we want to talk principles, I think it's very important that you're able to understand the movement you're doing.
Let me go back to nutrition real quick.
Yeah, for sure.
So in terms of your macros, like how do you set macros?
I don't count my shit. All right, a lot of you out there like to count your stuff. Okay.
Okay. Then how do you control your macros?
I do it for when it comes to clients. I make sure that they're tracking everything.
Okay.
This is where my clients and I differentiate in our training. Is where
sure.
I have them count their macros, everything. At the end of the week, kind of analyze. What did you take in? How much did you expend? And then see how we can tailor it with their training to get to their goals. For me personally, I used to always count my macros.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, MyFitnessPal, I used to always log my shit in there.
But how do you set that up?
In terms of what?
Your macros. Percentages, numbers.
Numbers. So I try and see how many grams of protein was I taking, how much fat was I taking, etc.
How did you set those numbers up?
I honestly did at first. Like I kind of didn't know what I was doing. So for me it was like, all right, I'm just gonna eat this much, I'm gonna eat this much, and I did track it, and I guess I was kind of like a lab rat. I was an experiment.
Yeah.
I was experimenting on myself to see how my body would react to
what did you find most effective
for me personally?
Yeah.
High protein,
okay,
high fat, and I think carbs get a bad name. I really do.
Okay.
And for me it's the way I do it is I would carb up, and I still do this. I carb up in the mornings, and gradually as time passes, I start dialing down on my carbs as I go throughout the day.
Okay.
Yeah. So for me, I have sustainable energy throughout the day from my high fats.
Yeah.
I'm full from my protein, making sure that I'm not having any muscle breakdown, making sure that I'm getting adequate recovery.
Well, what I'm trying to get into is like, for I guess to put my personal example, I probably do 40-40-20.
Okay.
Yeah. So 40% of my calorie intake is from fats and carbs, and then 20% of my caloric intake comes from protein.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. And were you always like that? Do you feel like that's something new for you? Have you always been doing that?
For my lifestyle now, because I work in an office and I'm getting more into the marketing, podcast, blah, 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 this shit, I have a harder time to train as hard as I used to.
So sustainable energy, you need energy. Is that why you're doing it?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Because I'm more of I'm not full keto, but I'm on a keto basis diet. Like I tailored it to myself.
For sure.
But when I was when I was training for powerlifting, like trying to break records and whatnot, I was definitely more of How
was your carb intake then when you were powerlifting?
It was higher. It was definitely higher.
Up, huh?
Yeah. I think I was probably 40, 30, 30. Carb was 40%. 30.
Protein was 30.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I had to limit myself. Well, because my weight class was 66 kilos, which is about 145 and a half pounds. Yeah. I had to stay lean for majority of the year.
Is this back when, are you talking about the...
2015.
that wasn't when you were coming back from Morocco, was it?
No. That was just me just fucking around. But
Okay.
that was about 3 years ago.
Cool.
That was when I broke the powerlifting records for the state, and that I spent year round the entire year. Like I felt I was on point. Like I was like that limitless feeling.
Yeah, for sure.
That was me.
For
like,
sure.
But my social life was abysmal at best. Like I had a girlfriend at the time, and she hated me during my competition phase.
Prepping for comps and stuff, I haven't done comps myself, but from all my friends and homies that have done it, it takes a lot out of you, I'm sure.
Yeah. No. Well, I guess to bring it back to my overall goal was like, to me, there's a 40-30-30, 25-25-50 in terms of what's that? The 40-40-20 is like a general basis for a I believe is a mesomorph.
Okay.
Someone who's like about average, who does but these are like general guidelines for someone, I guess, for the office lifestyle.
Yeah, for sure.
Fat, carbs, protein. Okay. That's just a general I think generally, if you have no goals of being a powerlifter, bodybuilder, anything in like a major fitness field, like that is your go-to off a 2,000 calorie basis.
No, for sure. I agree.
And then you kind of have to tailor yourself. To me, I found it to be very specific to your race.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. How so? Touch up on that.
As an Asian, we are known for eating a lot of rice, lots of carbs, stuff like that. So in my blood, I truly believe that I am very good at metabolizing rice.
So do you feel like you have kind of like a higher absorption rate? Your body's able to process.
Yes, exactly. So it's better. So what I've recently been reading up on is
that actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because what my biggest issue right now is, what is it called? The dietary nutrition rules, guidelines. Fruits, I believe, aren't as necessary. Mm-hmm. This is very highly debatable, but the foundation of fruits, the essential sugar in fruits, is fructose. Right. But that is also the highest efficiency to turn into triglycerides, which is fats. Mm-hmm. And then because it has a high efficiency to turn fructose into fat, it creates fat storage. Yeah. So if you eat a large amount of fruits per day, more than likely you are going to become fat.
That's actually funny. I think we definitely should touch up on that for people watching. I feel like a lot of you out there, I don't know, but I don't want to generalize, but I've seen a lot of people go like, like they ask me for nutritional advice and they'll go like, oh yeah, so I had X amount of protein, whatever, eggs for breakfast, and then they had like 2 bananas, apples, blackberries, all this shit, and they're loading it up in their breakfast, like.
Because it's what you normally think. For my clients who
we
are
grew up
40
thinking
and up,
that fruits were.
I didn't believe that.
I didn't believe it either. But we were at least I was growing up being told that you need to have your fruits, you need to have your veggies, fruits and veggies. That bullshit.
Your macros are just as important as your macros.
The whole myplate.gov thing where like
it's a fist for the protein. Such bullshit. I think of it more as a guideline to measure my food, like a fist of chicken, beef, or whatever. That's what your serving size should be for your protein. Yeah. But I don't know about carbs and fats. Because it's really weird to me. And my biggest let me ask you about this question too. Yeah. What do you think about fats? Because the biggest thing I hear from clients is like, I should get these low fat.
Fats get a bad name, man.
Yeah, I'm like, you need fats in order to digest fats.
Monosaturated fats.
There you go.
That's my go-to.
You're more into the scientific. Please explain that.
For sure. For example, let's say I'm cooking chicken or whatever. I love to use olive oil.
Yeah.
I love to use olive oil. Nuts. I love snacking on nuts in between my meals.
Okay.
If I feel like I'm getting a little hungry, but I don't want to pig out, or I want to kind of control satiety, control how full I am or whatever.
The biggest issue with that to me is like...
It's also high in calories, though, so you gotta be careful with that.
Like, I can't eat a handful of nuts if I'm hungry, because you'll end up eating like a whole jar or whatever. Yeah.
So I think it's also being able to, ration it out correctly.
Right.
Being able to I think
I keep like little bottle of planners in my desk in my office.
a balance. You want a balance.
But then I just pour it into the cap, and I just
Yeah.
take that like maybe 3 times a day.
Yeah, man, for sure. No, definitely. So wait, touch up a little bit more on the whole how you think it's
Race related.
yeah, race related.
I can only speak on myself, and
I definitely feel that for myself, like in terms of like meat, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I eat a shit ton of meat, and like my body's been fine so far, you know. So it works for me.
To me, it's based on diet, and I just want to put a disclaimer: I am no doctor. This is just me on my personal beliefs.
Same.
But yeah, because like I feel I'm from Indonesia. Indonesia's hot as fuck.
Yep.
We're on the equator line, so we're closest to the sun.
Oh.
And I just have a personal belief that I'm like me personally. I'm full of energy. I'm always like hyped.
Dude, I always see it throughout. I mean, you guys follow him on social media, but this guy's like the fucking energizer bunny. He's always moving around, which is good. Which is good.
Like it's not a bad thing.
You're
but
not sedentary like most Americans, so that's good for sure. No, definitely.
Yeah, so I credit that to like my foodiness.
Yeah.
I also have like a foodie Instagram,
Oh,
Sumo
yeah.
Eats. But like to me, it just depends on where. If you understand where you're from, it's also like another mental model of mine. If you can break down the root cause of whatever issue that you have, you can figure out. You can change your future. You can change the result in the future. I can't really break down anyone else. I can only like play around. I have this client who's Italian, and he's in his 50s as well. But
Is he eating a lot of carbs and stuff like that?
yeah, because he's Italian, pasta, rice,
kind of
bread. I'm reading the 4-Hour Body by Tim Ferriss right now, and he has a slow carb diet that I'm gonna use for the month of April. I'm going to San Diego in May.
Nice.
So I'm gonna see if I can do a 30-day, not fix, but I'm gonna test out his slow carb diet.
I don't want to focus on this too much, but as from PT to PT perspective, what's your idea on bread? What are your thoughts on bread and individuals having an intake of bread throughout their daily life? Me personally,
Go ahead.
I say cut that shit out. Me personally.
Yeah.
Again, it depends on the individual. How active they are, all that, but still, like me personally, like dude, I don't really touch bread. I don't.
Because when I was in Morocco, pita bread was my biggest.
Pita is awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Put some hummus and like all that stuff on it.
Hell yeah. That's a good snack, bro.
It's definitely good, but I feel like some people overdo it. I'm not gonna say any names here, but I had a client that loved eating bread.
Yeah.
And I kept again, I won't say who it is, but kept telling him, like you got to cut that shit out. Like just see how your body will react to it.
Yeah.
He didn't do it for a whole year of training. He didn't listen to me, I'm sure you've had your clients where you tell them what to eat. I don't know if they completely act upon it, whatever. But
I like to pick and choose my clients,
right.
people who are like more listening.
Yeah.
Like,
so first year, dude, he incorporated bread in his diet, like sandwiches, all that.
yeah.
The first week he cut out bread. And training was the same.
Yeah.
The rest of his nutrition, his water intake, sleep, etc., all the other important factors were the same.
Yeah.
He just cut out the bread and he lost 2-3 pounds that week alone. Just cutting out bread.
Wow.
So
how much bread was he eating?
That's exactly. So that to me was like, damn, dude, like you must have been eating a whole fucking loaf of bread, like a week at least. Like, something crazy.
Yeah.
And again, I think we can touch upon this if you want to. I think it's, again, everybody's nutritional, I don't know if you want to say standards or what, but everybody's nutritional intake is definitely different.
Yeah.
Some things may work for me, some things may work for you.
The biggest thing for me being in the military, whenever I was out in the field for long periods of time, I knew bread and water are my essentials.
It kept you full.
Right. Because I didn't know when the next time I was going to eat. And I think of the same principles in terms of society here.
Yeah, for sure.
I eat bread rarely myself, but because I know the effects of it. It's a slow carb, so it's very slow digesting, and I'm not going to say it's calorie dense because there's like low calorie bread as well.
Yeah.
But it's still slow digesting, so it's going to make you feel a certain way to me, my personal belief, and it's one of those things. I don't know the essential sugar in bread because all carbs are sugars.
Right.
That they're more, like I said earlier, they're more efficient to become a triglyceride, which is a fat. And
Let
then
me touch up on that real quick.
Go ahead.
So that right there is so correct because, dude, for me personally, I had, like I said, my diet's, I don't like diet. That has a negative connotation in my mind. Nutrition. My nutrition, okay, has changed over time.
Yeah.
When it came to bread, what you just said, I could tell that I was putting on bad weight, specifically in my waist area.
Yeah.
If I literally just incorporated 2 pieces of toast, like, every morning for X amount of weeks, you know? Within 2 weeks, dude, I packed on, like, not even, like, maybe, like, 2 pounds of just straight fat in my stomach.
Yeah.
And I was just like, all right, let's stop this. And as soon as I stopped, my body went back to normal, you know?
There you go.
I definitely agree with that.
I'm not going to say I'm a big advocate of the keto diet, but if you can understand the foods that you're intaking, I'm in the personal belief that it's not calories in versus calories out in terms of weight loss or fat loss. It's about what gets into your body.
So, okay, yeah. So what you're specifically ingesting, whether that be your proteins, fats, carbs, etc.
Not essentially just your macros. It's because I'm a believer that if you do everything right on paper, you may not get the results that you're looking for. Definitely. Just because you don't, it doesn't hit your bloodstream, and that's your ultimate goal.
Yeah.
Because if it's not circling through your body and you're just like getting it through your mouth, digesting it, and it's going right through your...
It's absorption, dude. I think absorption is very important.
Right.
People don't understand that, you know?
I'm a big believer of doing blood tests.
Yeah, no, for
doing blood tests, checking out your sodiums. And if you're on an actual healthy diet, I was reading about this, you are more likely to be have a deficit of potassium, magnesium, and one other.
I mean, I believe it. I mean, you're restricting so much in one area, you're lacking in another.
Right.
For sure.
But then the pro of taking supplements, as in like just like pill form of magnesium specifically, has helped you sleep better. And when you sleep better, you recover better. Therefore, you can work out harder for longer periods of time, whether it's consistently versus just, I'm going to work out hard today, and it's Monday, and then you don't work out to the following Monday. Like, what are you really doing?
No, I agree. Do you want to touch up on supplements? I feel like...
Hey, by all means. I don't really use supplements.
Go back and forth with it. Neither do I.
Go ahead.
So, dude, me personally, like, I actually don't really play around with supplements either.
What, do you use anything?
If I were to take anything, and this is for me personally, I've just started going back into taking fish oil.
Okay.
High EPA, all that. And for me, it's more so just for joint support, you know, for joint mobility and
do you have joint issues at 22 years old?
Dude, it's funny. I know I'm super young. Dude, when I was wrestling, I was always used to being in a certain stance.
Okay.
So I felt a lot of pressure in my lower back, and over time when I would go in for my shots and stuff, my elbows just felt jacked up over time. So
interesting.
Yeah. So for me, I started taking fish oil capsules.
Yeah.
Didn't work for me.
Okay.
So I started going towards liquid form, and I'm sure you know this. If you take anything in liquid form, it's going to travel through your system quicker. It's going to go... The absorption... Anything, in my opinion, that's liquid form is able to flow through the digestive tract a lot easier. Yeah. And the absorption rate is going to be a lot higher. So, so for me personally...
I rarely take anything. Or if any, I don't take anything liquid
right.
form.
So for me personally, like, that worked really well. Pills are, like, easy, quick, you don't really taste it.
Right.
When I had fish oil, man, it tasted like shit, but it worked.
Like fish.
Yeah, exactly. and it worked wonders for me. But other than that, man, like, I don't really take supplements. I used to take, you know, like the whey protein, casein at night, like.
I take whey.
All that kind of stuff. Yeah, no, which isn't bad, obviously. But for me personally, I just realized that eating whole meals and really just whole foods personally worked for me. Not to say that I wouldn't benefit from, you know, supplement use, whether that be creatine, which...
Is that the only thing you take? Fish oil?
Yeah, right now. I was cycling off of Nitroflex a little bit.
What is that?
So Nitroflex has a lot of beta-alanine, L-arginine, It was
like
a pre-workout. It was
Okay.
a pre-workout, yeah.
Makes
So,
sense.
dude, the problem is like we don't know what they're putting in these supplements.
I see.
You know, and the thing is, dude, the caffeine content in
Yeah.
that was like 350 milligrams. I don't know what the average is for a cup of coffee. It's like
300.
for one cup.
Yeah.
No, dude, one cup of coffee is like close to 100 milligrams, like 95 milligrams to 100 milligrams. Straight black coffee. I'm almost positive. Regardless, dude, 350 milligrams of coffee or caffeine.
Yeah.
Too much for me. So
You got wired, itchy.
dude, it wasn't even a matter of getting itchy. It's funny because the label on Nitroflex said that, you know, you'll be able to bench press or whatever, like 20, right?
That's
20
horrible. That's horrible
I know.
marketing.
It's very misleading. 20 pounds more than you usually do. And I never looked into that even as a PT. I never looked into those bullshit claims. I looked at what the content was on the back of the label. You know, what is in it, how much L-arginine, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Supplement was great, but
Yeah.
dude, as soon as my workout was done, like I still had energy, and as soon as I'd come home,
Yeah.
crash like no other. So I mean, I've never experienced anything like it. So I still have a full tub at home that I'm not using. So if any of you want it, just let me know. Gotcha. I'm trying to get rid of that shit. But yeah, other than that, man, you're saying you're taking whey, right?
Yeah.
Whey's great. Like if especially
It's a good supplement.
you say you're working in an office, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm sure you have your meal prep and all that going on, but
Not necessarily.
right. But when you need, you know, that intake, that protein intake or whatever, whey's quick. So
Yeah.
why not? I used to be really big into whey. I used to make sure I was drinking at least one shake every day.
I normally take my shakes while I'm training because I'm just talking for so much. I need to get like hydrated at the same time, give me some like nutrition, sustenance.
And this isn't me to shit on supplements, guys. I think supplements are great.
Yeah.
Just there's a reason they have the name supplements. It's to supplement into your routine.
Your diet, your actual diet or whatever nutrition.
Diet, nutrition, yeah.
I mean, to me, I think on average, multivitamin is my essential because
I didn't say that. I'm also taking multivitamins.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, multivitamin's my essential because I know on my daily average for me just traveling from place to place, like going from DC to, well, I don't want to Virginia that often, but to Maryland back and forth, I need it because I don't eat enough greens.
And the thing is, dude, like,
or micronutrients.
You also, I'm assuming you have a high metabolic rate.
No? Not at the moment.
I know I do.
You know? You're young. You're 22 years old.
You're not that much older.
Hey, I promise you, in 3 years, or I'm about to turn 26 this year. In 4 years, I'm gonna talk to you again. It's like, damn, I don't feel the same anymore.
It's slowing down, like, for sure.
I've been in the military for 6 years now, and like just this past year, I started feeling cold.
Yeah.
Like before, like I feel cold. Like I feel cold.
Cold as in you don't have enough body weight, enough insulation, enough fat. You feel cold, or what specifically?
I'm probably my heaviest weight when I was at my last training evolution.
Still getting cold?
But I was like fucking freezing. Like
it's funny you say that, dude.
I'm just like infantry life.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel you on that. Dude, I'm starting to feel cold recently just because I'm in a cut right now.
That makes sense.
So for me, I don't have that much insulation. I get cold as shit.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, guys, I don't know. Me personally, supplements, I'm not against them. Just be careful of what you're taking, whether that be pill form, powder form, whatever. Obviously, always look into it. Right?
Yeah. Well,
just know what you're putting in your body. Is what I say, at least personally. You don't want to take something for an extended period of time and not knowing what the fucking effects could be.
Self-awareness.
Definitely.
That's all I can say. Self-awareness. Be mindful. I don't know if I ever told you this, but I want to say last year, 2 years ago, I took some samples from a buddy of mine. He works at a nutrition store, and after maybe like a couple weeks, I developed what's that called? Steven Johnson's condition.
What were you taking?
I don't know. I was literally just like, let's try this pre-workout. I'm about to work out with my buddy. I'm like, all right, I'll take it. And then
Were you depending on that for your workouts, or were you just
I was just sampling it.
just sampling it?
Like I never take pre-workouts. I probably have taken pre-workouts like 5 times my entire
Yeah.
life. And that was like NOx blood like back in high school.
Yeah, that was a big thing. Yeah, for sure.
But then I never liked it because I was already like hyper myself.
You're already the Energizer Bunny, like we said. Yeah, you're hyper.
But then when I took it, I was like,
it's on another level.
I felt like Super Saiyan type of shit.
No, for sure, dude.
And but I was like, I don't need this shit. Like, why am I going to spend money on this?
What are your thoughts on creatine?
I do episodes of creatine.
Same.
Um,
How's your body react to it, personally? Do you get bloated? Do you deal with all that kind of shit?
I don't think I get bloated. My weight is up, but I feel full as well.
Dude, the water retention for me.
Yeah.
When I take creatine, I feel full.
Like body-wise, right?
Yeah, body-wise.
Yeah, like that's awesome.
I feel really, and it feels great.
Like, I don't even have to work out as often, but I'm like,
no, for sure.
I think
creatine's great, personally.
Yeah, if you take creatine, I like taking creatine in the pill form.
Yeah.
And because it's just quick and easy,
Yeah.
I take it like first thing in the morning.
Quick and easy, exactly. Yeah.
But it just comes in and out. Like, I mean, not in and out, but like I just take it and I just feel good.
I don't want to get too specific, but like when you do take creatine, do you take monohydrate, malate, like any specific type?
Monohydrate. I take it. Great. I'm a big believer of doing things in this most simplest form, because when you get into the complex stuff,
simplicity is definitely where it's at for.
I think that same thing in life. Like that's one of my mental models. Like the more stuff you have, is the more stuff you manage.
Agreed. Sure.
A quote that I always have in my head is whatever gets measured gets managed.
Yeah.
So if you're taking a lot of shit, you have to manage a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And I think of it like in the backwards form. Mm-hmm. And it's just like it's mentally taxing. Like we have a lot of shit to worry about
already in our everyday lives.
Yeah. Like why do I need to take more stuff? As long as I can keep my shit simple, that's efficient to me because I can really put my mental focus on certain things.
For sure. Yeah.
We're just talking a lot about nutrition.
Yeah. Well, it's important, man.
That's your biggest thing on training?
For sure, definitely. Like I said, it wasn't always, but definitely more so recently because I've just been playing around with my body and seeing what works for me. And
as an Iranian, what do you think is a key? Because I don't know a lot of Iranians that.
Dude, it's funny because I have friends that are Iranian.
Iranian.
Hopefully he's gonna see this later, but Kian Kasseri, you know?
Kian sounds very familiar.
Yeah, he's been competing for the past a year or two, I don't know, but dude, his physique looks great, and I mean, I see his posts. He's very active on Instagram, dude. This man has his nutrition down to a T, and you can see the progression and growth not only in his lifts, etc., but his physique just looks amazing. So come showtime. Like, whether you're competing or not, it's important to have good nutrition, in my opinion, but his physique just looked phenomenal when he stepped on stage.
But speaking of, I just want to know about you, like, specifically. Like, what have you found work best for you?
You want me to run you down for, like, what I eat during the day kind of thing?
Sure, like, break down your macros.
That's probably the best way for me to do it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, for me personally, all right, so when I'm going on a bulk, all right.
Okay.
Obviously, like I still like to have adequate protein, so I'll have anywhere between 3 to 4 eggs in the morning. I keep it really simple.
Okay.
And then I would have oats, and coffee, and that's really all I had personally for my mornings, and that worked for me.
Fats, carbs, caffeine.
Right. Yeah. Keep myself up.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, man.
I'll break down mine afterwards.
And then. I also like to meal prep on the weekends. My mom, she also cooks some really good food all the time. And so for me, it's I eat a lot of chicken. I love chicken. And
go ahead.
Yeah, I love chicken personally because I can do a lot with it. You know, I can bread it if I wanted to bread it.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I don't usually do.
Do you bake it?
I do bake it.
Okay.
But I like grilling my chicken. Personally,
solid.
It works best for me. And obviously, before I keep going with this, I think it's very important that you actually enjoy your food.
Yes.
And not just eat because you need the calories or the macros, whatever. Like, enjoy what you're eating.
Right.
And I like chicken because there's I can have variety with it. I can switch it up. You know, I can marinate however I want. People shit on red meat. and I don't know, me personally, like I'll still eat steak and stuff like that here and there. I don't eat it all the time.
I love red meat.
I love steak. And yeah, man, that I do try and incorporate a lot of veggies. More so recently, recently as in within the past year or two.
Okay.
Because I wasn't always. I was heavily just carb based.
How do you do your veggies? Do you do like frozen veggies, or do you do like?
So I think frozen veggies are great.
Yeah.
Like for someone, I mean, I know you have a busy day all the time. Frozen veggies would suffice, right?
Right.
So frozen veggies are great, but excuse me personally, I'll eat anything from broccoli, cauliflower, asparagus. Although asparagus,
But you do fresh?
Yes.
Or, okay.
Yes. And I don't know if you know this, but asparagus, total side note, makes your piss smell awful. So sometimes
I've heard that.
Sometimes I try and stay away from it.
Okay.
But yeah, so asparagus, cauliflower.
I mean, I don't know how often I go to my bathroom after
You can really smell it. It's that bad. So I sometimes try and stay away from asparagus personally.
Okay.
I'll still incorporate. Love kale.
Kale?
I love kale.
I hear good things about kale, but I don't like the texture or the flavor of it.
I was like that too.
I'm a bigger fan of spinach.
We're opposites here. I still incorporate spinach here and there, but not too much personally.
Okay.
I love kale though. I'll have a big ass bowl of kale every day. And I personally like to eat it raw. I don't like it cooked.
Yeah.
Sauteed, all that. I don't like that. I keep it simple. I'll add like lemon juice, olive oil, so I'm getting my fats in there.
Yeah.
And it tastes phenomenal for me.
You make like a salad, basically?
Yeah, basically. It's literally just straight kale, dude.
Just kale?
Just kale.
Dressing and...
Not even dressing. Literally just olive oil and lemon juice. And like at first you'd think like it sounds whack.
It's filling.
It's filling.
I've incorporated more salad in my life as well.
It's filling, and it works for me. My energy level is great, especially from the fats I'm getting out of it.
And you say every day, right?
Every day. And I mean, dude, also it's a real good colon cleanser. I mean, it will help you shit out whatever you ate during the day. Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Iron,
also,
right? Iron and fiber.
Iron, fiber, calcium. Did you know there's calcium in kale?
I did not.
Calcium in kale. I don't know the exact.
That was the other one. It was calcium, magnesium, and fuck, I just forgot the other one.
Dude, we're talking so much about nutrition, but now that we're talking about kale, the calcium aspect, I don't really incorporate dairy much in my life. Come to think about it, like
same.
I don't really drink milk in the mornings.
I've come to the bigger belief. Here and there, yeah, I have like Parmesan cheese as a dressing on top of like my pasta or whatever. Yeah. But I've heard like because we get our milk from cows, and milk is good, but it has to come from a certain thing. Like breast milk is amazing.
Phenomenal.
I hear bodybuilders like pay for that shit, like the black market.
Oh yeah.
Because it's from our species.
Human to human.
Right.
Versus going from
cow to us, we just don't digest it that well. And it goes the same thing with like cheese. Yeah. Because it's from either goat or where does cheese come from? Milk byproducts.
Yeah, byproducts, yeah.
Yeah, but then it's like it's not from us.
Yeah, dude.
We can only intake certain amounts.
I literally stopped one day, just wanted to try it.
Yeah.
And cut out dairy, dude. Like
so, do you do like almond milk instead, or what?
Yeah, here and there.
Yeah.
I'll incorporate that here and there. But dude, now like if I try having like just regular whole milk or anything,
yeah,
my stomach hurts.
I feel you. Well, I haven't really taken whole milk in a while, so I don't know.
Yeah. And with certain, how do you pronounce it? Breyers ice cream? Breyers,
yeah.
Yeah. I used to love that. So like I would eat that, and I actually had it last week, and dude, my stomach was killing me.
Do you think you're like lactose now, or what?
I think so.
Yeah.
That's what's. I mean, I haven't really.
Because there's a part of me that thinks like all humans are lactose because it's becoming more and more apparent to me, people who are trying to be more healthy. Because I think like we're just not meant to digest those kind of proteins
I definitely agree.
I don't know, the amino acids or whatever.
And then back to like my diet and stuff. So like I don't really take in much dairy or anything. But as it's going later on in the night, I've had my dinner, which is usually pretty low carb based. I still have a high amount of protein and I wouldn't say a minimal amount of fat, but a decent amount.
Okay.
And then at night, depending on what time it is, how full I am, etc., and what time I have to wake up, instead of taking like a casein supplement, which I used to do, I would take cottage cheese.
I like cottage cheese.
Or I don't know how you pronounce it, Greek
Faye.
yogurt. Faye. There you go. Greek yogurt.
Okay.
Low-fat Greek yogurt, and
I don't know what is Greek yogurt like at the essentials. I know it's a probiotic.
It's a probiotic.
I don't know what it's made out of. Like why we can. I feel like I can intake that.
I've noticed with my digestive tract personally, it works really well.
Same.
As opposed to like cottage cheese.
I try to put in if I have chocolate protein powder, put that
Mix
in.
Mix it up. There you go. No, for sure.
That's a quick snack.
Yeah. Definitely. Like we said, I think it's very important to have variety and be able to actually enjoy your food.
Right.
There's definitely, I don't know for you, but personally, like a point in time when I was picking up, bodybuilding and fitness is I remember I saw a video of Ronnie Coleman explaining how he would eat the same shit every day at the same time every day. And
it's a process. Yeah. It's like a system.
Mm-hmm. And it worked for him, and I tried it. It worked for me, but I started getting so fucking bored of eating the same shit all the time.
Yeah.
I got too accustomed to it, and I was like, I don't want to do this. I want to enjoy my life. I want to enjoy the process of eating whatever. And
just to talk about that real quick.
Yeah.
What do you get tired of? Because I essentially think that all people that I know that say that they have, like, I'm tired of eating the same shit, but in reality they eat like Chipotle, burgers, pizza, and what am I missing? Steak, I guess.
I'm a huge pizza lover.
Yeah, like there's 4 things. Like, how can you get bored of that? Because you just normally eat the same thing over and over again, but it's like, why?
I think that's the problem, dude, is some people get in a routine of just eating the same thing over and over to the point where they're just like, I can't do it anymore. And I think it's because when they were stuck to that routine or whatever you want to call it, they didn't really kind of play around with it here and there and manipulate a little bit, add this or that into their diet.
Yeah.
And they just, I guess, got burnt out of it. They just didn't,
I'm like so blessed that I worked like almost 4 years at Noodles & Company.
Yeah.
That I
really?
I did.
Still? You
like,
used
to this day?
Yeah.
No, I did it from, I want to say like sophomore year in high school. I didn't know that. Yeah, I was.
Do they know that?
I don't know.
They do know.
You do know. Like, I spent 4 years. I was a shift manager.
Nice.
So I started the process from being like the cashier to working in the back of the cook, and then to be a manager. And then as a manager, you kind of have to do everything. And I always remember on Sundays, I would come in and I would like experiment. I would just like, because we have everything there. Like there's eggs, there's a bunch of veggies, there's pasta, bunch of toppings, and there's salad. Yeah. So sometimes I would just make like, I would like cook the chicken and kind of like just season it with the sauce we have.
That blows my mind. I had no idea.
4 years, bro. From
That's crazy.
16 to 21.
I've only had 2 weeks in the food industry.
I love the food industry.
I worked at Panera for 2 weeks my junior year of high school and said fuck that. I didn't like it.
But then you probably like a cashier though. Like for me, my ultimate goal, like, I didn't care about what I did. I just wanted hours so I can get a car.
I didn't even really have to work with food. I saw it behind the
cashier
scenes.
And just like,
cashier shit
all right,
like
blah,
that.
Blah, blah. All right, I got you. Thank you.
Being told what to do also, which personally I just didn't like. That's kind of like why I'm in this profession right now while I'm in school, is because I get to make my own schedule. Obviously, I still have to listen to people here and there, but for the most part, I kind of am my own person. So
yeah, I agree. Yeah. I'm the same way. Like I
really don't like being told what to do, man. I really don't. My mom says it every day. She doesn't really see me ever working for somebody else when I'm out of college, and that's kind of how I feel about it.
That's interesting to me, because to me, I'm more, I don't know, I've always thought of myself as like a number 2. Like I don't want to be a face for like a brand or whatever, but I just want to be like,
no.
But then it's not me, because you said
Dayan Athletics.
Dayan Athletics. That's your last name.
Yeah.
even though Sumo is like a nickname for my last name, Sumardi.
But if people didn't know you, they wouldn't really.
Right, they're like, oh, Sumo list. Okay, whatever.
Definitely,
Like for me, I don't want it.
I really like that name, by the way, because I think it's very creative. Because you think of like the sumo lifter, or like something like that. I think it's just the way you incorporate it is like pretty dope.
I'll always. I don't
know how you came up with it, but it's pretty fresh.
I will always admit this. I think this is a stupid name.
Really?
I just got the nickname Sumo because I was a powerlifter, and I did it on base because they called me by my last name, which is Sumardi. Yeah. And I was like, okay, Sumo lifts. Boom.
Works together.
Like, this is so stupid to me, but let's roll with it.
Yeah, it works, man.
And then they just rolled with it. Like, yeah, I like Sumo lifts. I was like, that's my man Sumo. Like, all right, whatever.
So I know you're like interviewing me here, but let me ask you a question really quickly.
Sure, ask me questions.
What made you, and obviously I have my own reasons, but what made you want to, go into making your own brand and establishing your own brand, Like, was it an instantaneous kind of just, I want to make my own brand, I think it'd be dope, or was it just like, I want to stop paying high price for clothes and I want to make my own clothes cheaper? At least that's what I do now, man. So I don't know, what was it like? What made you want to make your own brand? I mean, obviously you have entrepreneur kind of mindset for sure. At least that's what I think personally, because I believe I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think of myself as an entrepreneur. I just think of myself as fucking resourceful. Yeah. The one thing I always love about the Marine Corps that I will always remember is that we make the most out of nothing.
So you work with whatever you have.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, yeah.
Because my ultimate goal was to sustain my lifestyle. Yeah. I like a lot of things. Yeah. I'm highly curious about a lot of shit. And I like feeling happy. Yeah. And the thing about me is when I feel happy, it's because I have good people around me. No one's holding me down. For and sure. Like the same thing with the management. Like if I ever have a boss who tells me like, you got to do it like this, in this order. But if I get the same product done even faster, I'm like, why are you going to be like, why are you going to tell me I have to go through this process if I can go around, but still have the same morals?
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. In terms of the brand, I don't know. It's like,
it kind of just happened for me personally, man.
Yeah, like it just happened. Like for me, I wanted to train. I was thinking about like, my clients specifically, I believe they're a little bit more introverted because that's how I relate to them because I feel like I'm introverted.
Really?
Yeah.
As energized and hyper as you are, you don't think you're a little extrovert? Just a little bit.
I mean, yeah. To be honest, like I don't know if because you don't know my backstory.
No, I don't.
My backstory was that all throughout schooling, I was by myself. Okay. Like I'm one of 4 half brothers. Yeah. And my next oldest brother towards me is 11 years. Okay. I feel like I've said this many times on the podcast.
It's cool.
But just to give you the background, like I felt like I was the only child. My parents were always at work. They gave me whatever I wanted in terms of like food, necessities.
So you felt like you were more to yourself kind of thing throughout that time period?
I just learned how to be efficient by myself.
Which I think that's important, man.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like in this day and age where
people are too dependable on other people and stuff like that too. At least that's what I think.
I don't think they're too dependent on other people. I think of them they care about what other people think.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
Yeah, because in my perspective, it's just like
So did you not care about what other people think, or you don't care about what other people think?
There's a part of me that thinks I'm very what's the word? It starts with an N. Narcissistic?
Not narcissistic?
Yeah. Because, like, I just wanted, like I told you earlier, I wanted to be number one. Yeah. I don't care what happened in the process. Yeah. Like if you're my competitor, I'm just going to crush them. Yeah. But that's just my mindset. But in reality, I'm like, you're my boy, though.
You're still a caring person. Yeah.
Yeah, like
for sure.
I realized that I think what really hit me, like the reason why I started the brand as well, but the logo, it's the corporal logo, meaning it's the first stage of being an NCO, a non-commissioned officer in the Marine Corps. And then at that point, I realized that I was in charge of other people. And then I've always realized when I was working for other people, like into my managers, they didn't treat me the way I wanted to be treated, as a human being.
Yeah, no, I definitely, I get that.
So now when I'm put in a point of position where I am a leader, I'm like, fuck, I'm not gonna do what they did.
Yeah, you want to treat people the way you want to be treated.
Right.
Yeah,
That was. I've always wanted to create like a trailer.
Yeah.
For anyone who ever wanted to do like media type project with me, like I have this picture for me in kindergarten.
Yeah.
It was like a yarn necklace with a little like cardboard paper saying like best sharer. I got that award and I was so proud of it. I was so happy because like this is me. Like I had what I had.
Yeah.
I was self-sustained. I was good, but then now I can give to others. And then I kind of realized that once I became an NCO, and I was like,
it's important. Yeah.
Like that's what made me. That's what makes me happy. It makes me happy. It makes me feel fulfilled.
For sure.
And I feel like it's the same way from you when hearing your story.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like I just want to share as much information that I have, because at the longest time I always wanted to like explore the things I've never known.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that hard. And the thing is, I mean, I know you can agree because it's a fact. I mean, we're still learning too. You know, we're still learning in certain aspects of life, and I think, would you consider yourself a curious person?
My tagline is like feed your curiosity for this podcast.
Exactly. So I definitely think I'm a curious person too. I always want to find out what's the next big thing, or what's this do, what's that do, et cetera, et cetera. And I think curiosity is important too, for sure.
I think curiosity is important, but at the same time, it's more take initiative with your curiosity.
Definitely, for sure.
People don't like exploring the unknown to me.
Do you think it's because people are sitting in a comfortable space and don't want to get out of their comfort zone kind of thing for it, or?
I like to believe it as Newton's law.
Okay.
An object at rest will remain at rest. And same with people.
Yeah.
If nothing is forcing them to do anything, they're not going to do anything. They're going to keep it the way they are.
Yeah.
Because they got comfortable, they got complacent, whatever.
Yeah.
Because they've had their bare minimum what they need to survive. But ultimately, they always have the ambition to go for more.
Oh yeah.
I was reading I was reading something. It's called the Harajuku effect, or the Harajuku way, something like that.
Right.
And that just means it's the epiphany of having a nice to have to a must have.
Okay.
And I just believe more people should do that. And in terms of, I have a lot of anecdotes in my head. Someone named Mae West.
Okay.
Mae West was a competitor to Marilyn Monroe. She has a quote saying that people who are often shocked should be shocked more often.
I like that.
Yeah, because it's very relatable in my head.
Say it again.
People who are often shocked should be shocked more often.
Okay. I like that. That's dope.
Yeah, because she was competing with Marilyn Monroe, even though her name isn't as famous as Marilyn Monroe. Right. But Marilyn Monroe was often known as like crazy.
That one, yeah.
Yeah, and like to bring up like Elvis.
Yeah.
Him shaking his hips.
Yeah, man.
That's too sexual. That's crazy. Why would you do that? But then he's an icon.
Yeah.
And like to think about, like, if you don't innovate, if you don't make something greater than yourself, you're not growing as an individual, and you're not growing for society.
Yeah.
Then what is your value to the world?
Yeah, most definitely.
I have a big belief that people need to understand their value to society.
I was just gonna say that, yeah.
Because if you're just living for yourself,
your value
that's
to
selfish.
yourself and your value to society. I think your personal values and the way that you can incorporate that in society.
But people don't think about that.
People don't. No,
that makes me like irritated.
Yeah, no, it's definitely grinds my gears too. I definitely feel you on that.
I mean, what would you say your values are? Because you just talk about family. You want to help your family. Now you're doing that. If you were to break down a value of yours, like maybe like top 3, or maybe like principles, just be like a good person.
I think it goes more than that, man. I mean, obviously, like I was raised by a really, really, really loving and caring family.
Are your family like religious as well? Or it's more like
not really religious, no, but more so just
you have good traditions.
good traditions. And my dad always, hammers it in my head to, always, not only believe in your values because we're telling you to believe in them, but personally just try and connect with yourself and your values.
But what are your values?
And for me personally,
say.
it's showing love and compassion towards anybody, regardless of their background.
Okay.
Whether you're homeless, whether you're rich, whether you're a criminal, whether you're a good person in society, just
humanize kind of a person. Treat a person like a person.
Essentially.
Okay. Not meaning to cut you off, but
no, you're good.
Just relate it to me.
No, for sure. And I think being happy and being able to really find your inner happiness.
Yeah.
And I think nowadays, especially with social media, I feel like people should portray this happy-go-lucky kind of thing.
Yeah. It's just your
But
highlight reel of life.
Deep down, some of those motherfuckers are depressed or just not happy with themselves, and they have to portray this image,
Yeah.
For me personally, it's what I put out there. This is me. This is my life.
Right.
I consider myself a very happy person. And again, it's because I keep very I have a tight knit circle. As I get older, I'm only 22. I'm still very young, but I notice my circle gets smaller.
Yeah.
And those that are around me are always trying to succeed in whatever they want to succeed to motivate me.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's a matter of me being able to show that love and compassion to those individuals, keep them close to me, making sure that they're good before I'm good even. I always want to make sure I'm good, but I always want to make sure that my friends and my family are stable, you know, and they're able to have their own kind of progression, and which will then in turn, help me with my progression.
You're thinking about the bigger picture. You're always thinking of the bigger picture.
Well, that's another thing I think we should definitely touch up on for these guys is we can tie it into fitness to whatever you want, but I feel like a lot of people focus on the short term.
Yeah, I agree.
And I hate to make generalizations, but I feel like people don't think long term. You know, whether that comes down to what you're eating or what your form's like or how you treat people and whether that's going to affect you down the road, I feel like people don't think long term. So they wait, 5-10 years from now, they're like, fuck, like, I regret this so much. Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that?
Right.
I was having this interview yesterday for this job, which I'm not taking, but anyways. Let
me rewind real quick. Finish your thought, I guess, the job.
For me, I came down to telling them, look, like, down the road, man, like,
this is not what you want to be.
Not only that, it's like, I don't want to have too many regrets. I don't want to be able to say, I wish I did this differently. I wish I did that differently. I want to be able to say that I had a good life. I tried the best I could in whatever it was that I wanted to do. And progress in it.
Okay.
For sure.
So I was going to just rewind real quick. The question I always like to ask is, I'm a big believer of you are the average of the 5 people you associate with. Who are the 5 close people that you associate with? Because I have a common theme with the people I
5 most people?
Yeah.
Like name-wise?
Yeah. Or you don't want to give specific names, like how you can relate to them. Michael
Felber, one of my homies from high school. One of my, if not my closest friend.
What does he do?
He's a music producer.
Okay.
He's a music producer. He's still in school. Shout out, Mike. Great guy. I mean, one of the most motivational people I know. Funny because we weren't even super close in high school, and then just the most organic relationship ever. We just were very compatible in the sense that, like we were on the same wavelength.
Okay. How'd you guys connect? Just like social media?
Not even social media. We went to the same high school and
But you said you didn't talk them.
Right, we didn't really talk. Well, we talked here and there, but and we'd have lunch together and stuff in high school, that kind of thing. But we didn't even really hang out much outside of high school. And then when senior year came around, we started connecting and we just vibed really well together. And throughout college, we became super close. So he
went to UMBC or
no?
Maryland?
He actually he goes to College of Charleston.
Oh.
So he's all the way out in Charleston.
So how did you guys connect from being Charleston to Maryland?
We make it happen, dude. We make it happen. I'll visit him. He visits me whenever he's home for breaks.
But then how did you guys keep in contact? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
We FaceTime almost every day.
Really?
Almost every day.
That's awesome.
We stay in contact for sure all the time. We include each other in a lot of stuff.
So from senior year high school, you were just like Yo, let's keep talking.
Always.
Yeah.
It was just, like I said, we didn't have to say it like that. It was just so organic. It just happened. It just happens, you know? So, like, that's why I really fuck with Mike a lot.
Okay.
My other friend, Sanyo, I actually met him at UMBC back when I was first a freshman there.
Okay.
Shout out Sanyo. I hated the kid with my guts when I first saw him. I don't know why. I was being super judgmental my freshman year. I was like, I don't like this kid.
Such an asshole.
I was such an asshole, dude. I progressed so much from that.
That's funny.
But yeah, man, and 2 weeks later, like, this kid that used to go to my high school was his roommate, and we chilled for a little bit, and I was like, yo, dude, I used to hate you, but I really fuck with you. Like, I like you. Like, you're a cool guy.
So
and,
what
like,
does he do now?
He
that
hated
makes-
me too, dude, which is funny. Like, we just did not see eye to eye for whatever reason, and we never even spoke to each other.
What, like, I'm trying to figure out, like, what makes you like each other? Like, what happened? Or like,
I was in a really unhealthy relationship for like 3.5 years at the time.
okay,
And he was just there for me, as if like
he just cared for you.
he just cared.
He was just
And,
being a good
like,
person.
Like we talked about, you know, caring for somebody,
Yeah.
you know, like that. And he was there for me, and without me even expecting it, and just
He was a roommate, you said?
No, he was my friend's roommate.
Oh, okay.
And that's
And you just
like
hung
how
out.
that's how I was kind of, I won't say forced, but you know,
It just happened.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Again, organic relationship. That's why I really liked it.
Sweet.
So we ended up, you know, linking up, and we've been friends ever since. He still goes to UMBC, so I see him on the weekends here and there. And all
That's legit. Mike, Sanyo.
Yeah, Mike, Sanyo.
Sanyo.
Those are the first two people that I really spend the most time with.
Okay.
My friends, Ben Bojarski, Zach Michaeloff. And I'm going to keep it at those four, personally. 4? Yeah, those 4. Because, like I said, I keep my circle small. I'm very friendly. A lot of people laugh because, you know, I'll walk around campus, and I do know a good amount of people. I'll say, what's up? Hi, how are you? Like,
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends.
Dap people up.
Right? Just keep it short and simple. Peace out. Have a nice life. But,
Right.
like, for me, it's like I keep a very close-knit of friends.
Okay.
You know?
That's interesting to me, because you're the first, probably, honestly, the first person out of, like, probably 20 people on podcast, you probably didn't mention your parents.
My parents are given, in my opinion.
Okay.
You know,
so
I don't even think
I could probably say that you're 5. That's your 5th.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
for sure.
Yeah. 'Cause I would say people normally who think of being an entrepreneur trying to help others generally focus at like, shit, my parents gave me everything. Like,
Dude, my
they
parents
gave me the
came
life
to
that
this
I
country with, I don't want to say very little, but not too much, you know? They're resourceful. They worked with what they had, and they came to this country. My dad,
very Marine-like.
My dad worked a job. I don't know if he was. I don't know, man. He works in computers, but anyways, he worked for a job that really didn't pay much. You know where Rollins Ave is?
Rollins sounds very familiar.
It's pretty close to the Golds we work at. It's close to East Jefferson Street.
Okay, that's like
Okay.
Town Center.
Yeah.
Okay. East Jefferson Town Center.
East Jefferson Street.
Isn't that Town Center?
East Jefferson and Montrose.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's by the Panera?
There you
Yes.
go.
Okay.
So, like, super close to there. We used to live there, like, in a very small, compact apartment. And,
Yeah.
he just worked his way up, and now he works for the government. I don't even know what he does. I don't even ask. But anyways, just keep it at that. But
Okay.
he worked his ass off to, you know, grow, and my mom as well. And they both are my idols because obviously their profession's so different. But dude, the amount of hours that they put into their work, or they used to put, and how passionate they are about what they do.
Right.
They've kind of instilled that within my values. So I guess that's another thing is my dad's very on the head of, you know, fail to plan to fail.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So he's making sure that...
Wait, say that again?
Fail to plan.
Plan to fail. Okay, yeah.
to fail.
All right, I heard plan to fail.
No.
I was like, wait, no, that's
Fail
not
to
right.
plan to fail.
Right.
You know, so for me, he was always like, you know, find whatever your passion is organically. Don't force it upon yourself. You know, see what works for you.
Yeah.
And really hammer it on the head and really try your best in it. You know, don't half-ass it. If that's what you want to do, then show it to yourself. You know.
Okay.
So yeah, man. I guess that's my 5.
All right,
Yeah,
sweet.
for sure.
Yeah, because I'm a firm believer. Like, you need to cut out people who are negative in your life. Like,
Get that negative shit out of here. Miss me with that shit because
yeah,
I can't.
there's no point.
Okay, you know what? This is where I'm not disagreeing or anything. I agree with you completely. I think you should have friends that can
that criticize you,
be constructive.
Yeah, as long as they're constructive, they're just doing it for malintent.
Positive, yeah. Constructive negative.
If people who just give you shit for like you're just ugly,
that's why I fuck. That's why I fuck with Mike and Sanya. It's like I'll do something and they'll literally be like, "Are you fucking serious, dude? Like, clean your act up. Like, fuck yeah." They'll keep me in place. You know, that kind of
okay, that's good.
And like I do the same thing too. Like we'll call each other out on it, and it's all love. Like it's not like any hostility or anything.
Right, yeah. I completely believe in that. Like when I say cut out the negative shit, like cut out the negative shit that doesn't help you grow.
Absolutely.
If they actually say negative shit and it puts you down, that's not good.
Yeah.
If it puts you down, I'm like, oh shit, I'm fucking up.
Oh yeah.
I gotta do better. And once you get that, like it's what I was saying with the Harajuku effect.
Yeah.
It's that epiphany, like, oh shit, my boys who I fuck with hard are saying I'm fucked up.
Yeah.
Damn, I gotta get on their level, if not better.
Rethink and try and progress better. Yeah, for sure.
It's having a nice to have to like a must have.
For sure.
And
definitely.
I think that's the biggest issue when it comes to people having that goal of like a weight loss. Like, yeah, I want to lose like 20 pounds. Like, I just want to look 20 pounds. I want to lose 20 pounds for like, I want to look good for the ladies.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
do it for yourself.
You're not going to get there because you don't really want it. You want it for someone else. Yeah. And you don't even know who that other person is.
I think purpose is big, man. I feel like some people kind of, they want to make it seem like they're searching for their purpose, but they're not really. They're going around it, you know? They're not understanding why are you doing what you're doing? Like, are you trying to benefit society? Are you trying to benefit yourself, etc.?
A quick anecdote for myself, like, all throughout high school and, like, maybe even, like, middle school, like, I hated critical thinking and, like, reading, writing essays and shit. How about now? I'm reading books now.
Yeah, man.
Like, I hated reading books.
It changes, yeah, for sure.
And I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
This makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
If I didn't try to relate the things I read in books to, like, my actual life, I don't know where I would be right now. Like, just thinking about it, it's like, damn. Yeah. Like, shit makes sense. If I couldn't think this way, it's just I would be a whole nother level, like, below myself.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like, I don't know if do you read books, like, often?
Yeah.
Or, like, yourself?
For me personally, it's mostly just fitness related nowadays. Obviously, I like to immerse myself in various other genres. Right now, the next book I want to get is Gary Vaynerchuk's book that he came out with.
Crushing it. Crushed it.
Have you seen it?
I've read it.
Have you read it? Yeah. It's good?
I mean, I've listened to him for a while now.
Yeah.
So I haven't
read it. I definitely want to read that.
It's beneficial for sure. Yeah. For marketing for sure.
I'm starting to play around with like crypto and stocks and stuff like that. So
okay.
The market's kind of shitty right now, but
I had a good week last week.
Yeah, so for me, it's like just trying to learn more about how I can diversify my portfolio, all that kind of stuff.
What are you currently reading at the moment?
I'm not actually reading anything right now, man.
Okay.
Not right now, just because personally, I have such a busy life with school and with work that like I'm already reading books and all that shit for my classes, and right now since I'm like finishing up my major, I'm heavily into reading a lot of research articles. I mean, probably like maybe 8 to 10 articles at minimum every weekend or during the week that are like 20-30 pages long of just research.
Gotcha.
And all that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
I definitely do need to start like getting into I haven't read a book in like a month, which sucks, man. A month. Yeah, it's a while for me.
I got you. Like for me, I try to set aside about an hour a day.
Yeah.
I try to knock out at least 20 pages, and most books that I'm reading is about like 200. So if I could finish it within 10 days, I'm solid.
Yeah.
And this is all about prioritizing.
Yeah, for sure.
Depending on what you like.
Yeah.
A book that I would recommend to you is a book I haven't even read yet, but I recommend it because I know a lot of people that I look up to in the investing world are really high on that book. Cool? It's The Intelligent Investor. I could tell you later about who the author is.
For sure.
And at the same time, looking up certain people. Charlie Munger has been a big...
Nice. Huge influence?
Influence,
yeah. For sure.
He was the advisor for Warren Buffett. Mm-hmm. But I'll let you know when I read that book.
For sure.
But everything for me is more mental models. Basically, for me, I've been like in love with Ryan Holiday.
Yeah.
He's basically... a low-key advisor to like high-profile like entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
But
anything else we didn't hit, man?
I don't know. We should wrap it up.
Yeah, I'm done.
Let's do it. Shout out yourself. anything? Do you want to shout out yourself?
Yeah. Dayan Athletics. So for you guys that don't know, I actually started my brand not that long ago. Currently working on new designs and all that. So until I solidify all that, I decided I'm not making my website. I kept telling myself I wanted to rush into putting out a website and all that, but I want to make sure I have all my marketing and all that stuff set aside and ready. So as soon as the site's up, I'll let you guys know and launch that shit out there. Still doing direct orders and all that. So anybody who doesn't know me, you can find me on Instagram at Dayan Athletics. And yeah, come cop some merch, man. This shit's comfortable and it's nice. You can wear it in and out of the gym. I'm not lifting right now, so hey, man. Shout out to all my friends that keep it real and my family, and shout out my clients. You guys are amazing, and shout out Bryan for doing this podcast. So hell yeah.
Again, subscribe to the YouTube. Subscribe to the whatever platform that I'm posting this podcast, and to support the podcast, shop for some merch at sumoapparel.com. Support local entrepreneurs in Maryland, DC, Virginia, whatever. And I'm also on Patreon, patreon.com/the ketchup. If you would like to donate, if you do like certain donations, I think about just $20, you get like a free t-shirt. And that's just straight up donations. And peace and love.
We out.